Hello, and thank you for listening to this episode of the Moore's October Rants. Today's episode is going to be titled, Most Things Don't Matter. Recently, I've been thinking about how most things in my life hold no real meaning. They pass through my mind like static. They make noise, but they change nothing. Social media is a perfect example. You scroll, you watch, you read, and before you know it, hours are gone. People are always talking. Always giving their opinions, always trying to make noise. But most of it doesn't matter. None of it touches your life in any real way. Everyone's got something to say. They argue, they gossip, they rage. They fight over things that don't belong to them, that don't concern them, that have no bearing on the direction of their lives. The world has become addicted to its own noise. I've realized that most of it is irrelevant. People argue over celebrities, over albums, over the lives of strangers they'll never meet. Pop culture has become a religion for the bored. They worship the meaningless. I don't. I don't find connection in those things. I don't relate to people who live for gossip or for the next headline. They fill the emptiness with nonsense and call it community. But that's not connection. That's distraction. What matters to me is simple. I care about ideas that build something. Technology, creation, innovation, things that move the world forward, a new tool, a band that means something, a thought that cuts through the fog. That's where my attention belongs. Everything else is noise, and if it's noise, it doesn't deserve space in my head. The truth is, we let the irrelevant dictate how we think and feel. We give it power. We let it control our emotions. We let it pull us into fights that don't belong to us. If something is irrelevant, it should not affect us. It should not reach us. It should pass by like wind, but it doesn't because we let it in. Someone says something stupid, we get offended. Someone posts something meaningless, we get angry. We let their words shape our mood. Why? For what? I've done that. I've gone to war over people who don't matter. I've wasted time arguing with ghosts. Their opinions didn't matter then, and they don't matter now. As I get older, I see the truth more clearly. I don't fit in with the noise. The world around me is built on temporary things. It thrives on distraction. And once you see that, you stop needing most of it. When you cut away the irrelevant, you start to see what's left. Family. A small circle of people who truly care. A few passions that actually build you. That's all that matters. Maybe I'd have more things to care about if people weren't so cold. So dismissive. So disrespectful. But that's out of my hands. Like George Carlin said, I'm an optimist, but an outsider by choice. It's the unpleasantness of the inside that keeps me out. That line hits me hard. Because I am an optimist. I do believe in good. I do want to see the best in people. But experience changes you. Over the last 15 years, I've seen friendships rise and crumble. I've seen loyalty vanish. I've seen people talk about meaning but live without it. Most of those friendships were irrelevant in the long run. They added nothing. They ended quietly. I used to blame others for that. Now I don't. You can't know what's worth your time until you try. Trying is part of learning. But there comes a point when you see the pattern. You see what's empty and what's not. It's like entering a competition you never prepared for. You can't win if you don't show up. But showing up doesn't always mean it's worth the effort. You have to know when trying becomes self-destruction. The most successful people in the world failed more than they succeeded. That's what makes them strong. They knew how to separate what mattered from what didn't. They knew when to stop giving energy to the irrelevant. Maybe that's the mindset I need. To keep trying, but not for everything. Only for what counts. Positivity isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's about cutting out the things that poison you. And most of what poisons us today comes from the irrelevant. Why do I care what a stranger says about a politician? Why do I waste time watching videos of people begging for sympathy over their own choices? It's madness. People post their misery online and expect the world to care. But the world doesn't. It can't. Everyone's got their own struggle. No one has time to feel sorry for someone who refuses to change. If you're 35 and friendless, that's not the world's fault. If you're miserable because of choices you made, Sympathy won't fix it. Responsibility will. That's the truth no one wants to hear. Most people are where they are because of what they allowed, what they tolerated, and what they refused to change. I've been guilty of that too. I let toxic things stay in my life for too long. I let them rot my mind and spirit. And when I looked for someone to blame, the only face I found was mine. No one forced me to stay where I didn't belong. No one made me believe in people who proved unworthy. I chose that. If I get out of shape, that's on me. If I grow isolated, that's on me. If I waste time on things that don't matter, I'm the one responsible. Not my parents, not my siblings, not anyone else. Change starts when you stop lying to yourself. It begins when you stop calling poison medicine. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm cutting the irrelevant from my life. I'm done giving power to noise. If I have to question why something is in my life, it probably shouldn't be there. Doubt is often the first sign of truth. This isn't loneliness. This is clarity. Because the older you get, the more you see how little of what people say actually matters. You stop needing their opinions. You stop caring about their validation. You stop chasing the irrelevant. That's why I don't date. It's not bitterness. It's realism. Most dates feel like interviews. People selling versions of themselves that don't exist. I don't play that game. If you like me, fine. If you don't, fine. I don't perform for affection. I don't audition for love. I've lived long enough to know my worth doesn't come from anyone else's approval. Most dates lead nowhere anyway. Statistically, few ever turn into something lasting. People go on dozens of them and end up alone because they were chasing the wrong things. I'd rather be alone in peace than surrounded by irrelevance. Trying has limits. You can't pour your energy into everything. You can't save what's not meant to be saved. Some things are better left undone. The world is full of irrelevant noise, fake friendships, empty conversations, shallow distractions. It's all there to keep you asleep. But once you wake up, you can't go back. You start to see what matters. You start to live with purpose. You stop wasting time. And when everything irrelevant falls away, what's left is the truth. The hard, simple truth that you are the only one responsible for your life. I've wasted enough time on meaningless things. I'm done with all of it. I choose clarity over noise, purpose over distraction. I'm done with the irrelevant. Anyways, thank you for listening to this episode of the Moors October Rants. Signing out. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye for now.